Hi, I'm recording this video because some people asked me to do it. So, what should be the first mods you do to engine? If you want to have big power, like you're thinking of putting on NOS blower or turbo. So, this is the video of first, like, not if you want to get some car and do just easy mods. If you want to get some more crazy power figures out of it in the future, this is the list of mods you should do. So, first things first, you should get a standalone ECU. Programmable standalone ECU. No piggyback ECUs, those are bad. They're bad to configure, and sometimes they not cooperate because your air-fuel ratio is different than your lambda probe, oxygen sensor, Oxygen sensor won't think it's good, and the ECU will change the fueling, and then the piggyback will get fucked up. So buy a full standalone ECU. That's the easiest thing you can do. You will save yourself a lot of trouble by doing that. I recommend you buying a Megasquirt or buying a Haltech. Those are two good ECU brands. And don't get scared by the Megasquirt one. I know they say it's only for fuel, but if you install Megasquirt extra software, you can run Spark, wasted Spark for 12 cylinder and full sequential Spark up to 6 cylinders. So that's good. Now, those ECUs like Haltech is around $800. The cheapest Megasquirt that I told you now that can run the car correctly is like $280. So, next thing you should get is a O2 sensor, wideband O2 sensor. I don't have it now because I don't have the money. I bought a standalone ECU, so you must wait. You need to know your correct air-fuel ratio and tuning. If you have a stock engine without turbocharger or supercharger or nitros, you can tune it with the original narrowband sensor. It has low, how is it? It's not that accurate, low accuracy, but you can do the thing to tune it. So, you get a wideband sensor, standalone ECU. If you have a standalone ECU, first things you should do is change your fuel pump. If you have a 1.6 liter, buy like 355 liter per hour fuel pump. This is 1.6, so I have it. It will, in the future, you won't need to worry about it. You will have enough fuel for turbocharger, supercharger, nitros. Next thing you should get is a bigger set of injectors. You should get a better flowing fuel rail. As you see, I have a 4AGE. 4AGE has a high flow fuel rail from stock, so it's good. Stock 1.6s have like 220 cc injectors, 1.8s, 350 injectors, and so on. But if your car have 220 cc injectors for stock, like mine does, and you want to turbo it, you should put like minimally 450 cc's in there. The more flow they have, the better. So this is only about the money. If you get 1000 cc injectors and program it into a standalone ECU, it won't be different. Only it will have the fuel when you put high boost in it. So that's the thing about the fuel. But there's a thing about ignition too. If you have an ignition based on old systems like this distributor system, you will have a bad time when you're turboing on nitro or even normal natural aspirated engine with a good tune, because on distributors usually there are 4 teeths. There's 4 teeth wheel in there which tells you where is the top dead center of each cylinder that you are firing the spark and fuel in. If you have an A cylinder, there will be A tubes. So this is bad because if you adjust the spark from 10 degrees, which is set on this thing, like hard, then if you set 15 degrees onto it, it won't work good because it doesn't know where the 15 degrees is. There is only one tooth for the cylinder. And also there is I call it distributor finger, which rotates inside, and the spark jumps from it, and it has a really small area to jump the spark from. So if you set 15 degrees, it can have a chance of it not sparking correctly because it doesn't have the metal in front of it anymore. So to upgrade ignition, you should buy these. These are ignition coil packs, coil and plugs. So I got these ones. These are Bosch ones. These are cheap, like $20 one on eBay or AliExpress. New are $40 one, so it's cheap. It has a really good power on them, so it will be really good for turbocharger or anything like that. It has the power, like this is my setup. I'm gonna set up this here. You can see it fits the 4AGE Bluetooth. If anybody wanna know, this is a A3 Audi A3 coil pack. If anybody has a Bluetooth and needs help with this, they put it in also in Skoda Fabia 1.2 HTP. So next option you can do is buy this. This is cheaper, way cheaper. One of these coil packs is like $40 brand new, and you have all 4 wires in it, all 4 spark plugs you can wire in it. But it has one major problem. With these ones you can have a fully sequential spark. So every cylinder has its own coil, and every cylinder sparks at the exact time that it needs. With these ones, there are just 2 coils. So coil 1, coil 2. In coil 1 you normally have a cylinder 1 and cylinder 4, and in coil 2 you have cylinder 3 and cylinder 2. The cylinders that are at the top, that's sender normally. So if you open the engine, you will see that if you bring the first cylinder to the top of the center position, the 4th cylinder will be in the top of the center position too, and the same goes for these 2. So this is a wasted spark, it's called. These coils are grounding, like one side of the coil inside there's a transformer, one side of the coil is going to the spark plug, but the other side is grounded. So the highest power of the spark is going to the spark plug. In these coils, one of the side goes to one spark plug and the other side isn't grounded but goes to the other, so it has less effective spark, and you can get misfire if you have a high boost, because it will fire the spark in both cylinders at the same time, and you can get misfire or bad things happening. So we got the coils covered, we got everything. Oh, an important thing, you must get your car tuned professionally. If you have an NA engine, you don't need to do much, because you can learn. It's a good thing to learn. But if you want to run like race with it and things like that, you need to get it tuned professionally, because bad things can happen, like you're tuning it on stand and on the road to tune it, it's all okay, but when you get on it hard on the track, it can backfire, it cannot work good. So that's why you need to consider tuning it professionally. So this is about tuning. Next thing, you should get your airbox updated. So most cars with airflow meter, Wayne airflow meter, you identify it by that. It has a mechanical flapper inside it, so it opens mechanically by the air. Newer hot wire airflow meters are out now, so most of these have the thing that controls, the switch that controls your fuel pump inside them. So you need to do one thing: when you disconnect the plug, you need to put a little piece of wire, just jump those 2 pins that are connected to the switch for the fuel pump, or the kind of one round. So that's a quick thing to get. And also, if you want to buy a $30 cold air intake from eBay or $20 filler, you don't need to do it, because the stock airbox is flowing good enough for that. It will be better. So buy at least $50 filters, because they're good, they're flowing very good. Doesn't matter what side the filter is. If the pot filter is size like this, it could have a lower flow because of the materials used on it than the smaller filters. So consider the price, consider the manufacturer. So that's for the air tank. Next thing you should do is think about if you want to turbo it, or if you want to turbo or supercharge it, so that's boost, that's one way, or if you want to nitros or naturally aspirate it. If you want to naturally aspirate it, you should put in a race exhaust, ITBs, that's not cheap, but only way, and the race comes with big duration, so it will big flow. And that's all you can do on NA engine. So if you wanna use nitros, you should put in a big throttle body. You should get the exhaust done too, like exhaust manifold too, not only a getback. You should on the nitros you don't need camshafts. You should install it, but you don't need to. And be really patient with nitros. Bring up the jet size slowly to not blow your engine, not start with 150 and jump to 250 horsepower jets. Just go slowly to find out where the engine starts to lean out. Most time is leans out because your fuel pump doesn't have enough flow, and I already told you to upgrade fuel pump as the first thing, so that's good. Now, if you want to go with forced inductions, I don't want to talk about mounting the turbo or anything like that now. If you want to go forced induction, you need to have a big exhaust pipe. Don't need to be expensive exhaust like on NA or nitros, because you need a flow and back pressure on that. Now you don't, because the turbine in the turbo gives you the back pressure, at its own. So that's one thing. Also, if you do turbo, you don't need to upgrade your intake. Maybe your throttle body. You want to install the turbo as low as possible into the engine bay, because it's a gravity thing, just only like gravity thing. You want to drift it, you should put it up, because it's up, like it's style. But if you want to go slaloms or things like that with the car, you should put it down. The oil doesn't squirt that much from the dump pipe of the turbo. I mean the dump oil pipe, so the pipe that comes back to the sump. So next thing, you should, if you know if you're gonna be with turbos or with supercharger, you should install cams. If you want an engine, I told you before, big duration cams and with bigger lobe separation. On turbo you want, or supercharger, you want big duration, big lift, but low separation angle. Sorry, high separation angle. On NA or NOS you want low separation angle. Sorry for it. So I think I got almost all the things covered. Like there are small things